Who was first? This simple question has echoed through classrooms and conversations for centuries. It sparks curiosity and sometimes debate. For a long time, the answer many people learned was Christopher Columbus, but history is like a vast, unfolding map. New discoveries keep redrawing the lines. The story of the first arrivals is not about one person or one voyage. It is much longer, richer, and more complex than we once imagined. It begins tens of thousands of years before any European ship crossed the Atlantic, written in stone, bone, and in the very DNA of people living today. To truly answer our question, we must look far back, when sea levels were lower and great ice sheets covered the land. That ancient world set the stage for the first great human migration into the continents we now call North and South America. Long before famous European explorers, the land was home to millions, countless societies, each with its own history, culture, and deep connection to the land. Who was first is more than a historical puzzle. The answer shapes how we see the world and each other's contributions. It teaches resilience, adaptation, and the journeys our ancestors undertook. Through tools, the Viking ruins at Lanceau Meadows, and 3D reconstructions, we piece the picture together. The Americas were never an empty wilderness. They were vibrant and populated long before European sails appeared. This essay will guide you from the true first arrivals, ancestors of today's native peoples, through solid scientific evidence, then onward to later visitors like the Norse, and finally, Columbus. The story of the first Americans begins during the last great ice age. So much water was locked in ice that oceans were shallower. A massive land bridge connected Siberia and Alaska, Beringia. Not a narrow isthmus but a windswept 1,000-mile wide, life-filled plain. Great herds roamed, mammoths, bison, horses, and behind them, small, hardy bands of human hunters. These were the true pioneers of the Americas. Over thousands of years, they moved from Asia, across Beringia, into a new continent. Not a single migration, but a slow expansion. Families and small bands moving from one hunting ground to the next. They followed the animals that provided food, clothing, and tools. Skilled survivors in a harsh world, they crafted warm hides, built shelters against biting winds, and tracked game across frozen plains. As ice retreated around 14,000 years ago, new pathways opened south. Some moved through an ice-free corridor, others traveled the rich Pacific coast, hopping by boat among fish, seals, and kelp. Within a few millennia, their descendants reached Chile's Monteverde, and every landscape, Amazon rainforests, the Andes, and deserts of the Southwest. Over millennia, a stunning diversity of cultures flourished, the first to call this land home. How do we know this ancient story is true? The answer lies in the earth. Archaeologists, detectives of the past, have unearthed a mountain of evidence. Spear points, scrapers, knives, among them, distinctive Clovis points dating to about 13,000 years. Tools mark camps and kill sites of long-extinct animals like mammoths. Excavations reveal pit houses, sprawling cities like Cahokia, cliff dwellings in the Southwest, and South American roads and temples, proof of long-term settlement. DNA connects living indigenous peoples to ancestral populations from Siberia and traces lineages across the hemisphere. Ancient DNA builds detailed family trees and timelines that map migrations with precision. Thousands of languages and rich oral histories of creation, migration, and adaptation require deep time to form. Together, archaeology, genetics, and culture paint an undeniable picture. The ancestors of Native Americans were first. The Norse, skilled shipbuilders and sailors, arrived centuries later. They settled Iceland around 870, then Greenland around 985, Eric the Red's colony enduring for centuries. Farming, herding, and Arctic hunting sustained small colonies. Around the year 1000, Leif Erikson reached North America, Vineland of forests, grapes, and salmon. In the 1960s, Lanceau Meadows proved the Vikings came. Foundations, ironworking, dated to about 1000.